April 2016, WWE crowned Roman Reigns as their new face in front of 101,000 fans, then quietly suspended him for drugs, knowing he had failed their wellness policy before he ever won the title. 33 days later, he was back in a championship main event. If breaking WWE's strictest rule can lead to a promotion, what else are they hiding to protect their chosen star? WrestleMania 32 was supposed to be Roman Reigns' coronation. He pinned Triple H in the main event, confetti blanketing the ring as 101,000 fans packed into AT&T Stadium. Vince McMahon embraced his handpicked successor backstage, cameras catching a rare moment of approval. For 2 years, WWE had shielded Reigns from clean losses, pouring millions into branding him as the next hero, even as the crowd's boos drowned out the company's narrative. But behind the scenes, a storm was already brewing. Just weeks after that spectacle, the company's plans unraveled in full view. On June 19, 2016, at Money in the Bank, Reigns lost the WWE Championship to Seth Rollins. Not by interference, not by a technicality. He was pinned clean, ending a 2-year streak without a decisive defeat. The arena, sensing something off, exploded in cheers. Within 48 hours, the real reason surfaced. WWE announced Reigns had violated their wellness policy and would be suspended for 30 days, effective immediately. The official statement landed on June 21, 2016. Reigns posted on Twitter that he apologized to his family, friends, and fans for his mistake in violating the WWE wellness policy. He wrote no excuses. I own it. The timing was unmistakable. The company had known about the failed test before the pay-per-view, yet allowed him to headline only to script his loss and announce the suspension after the fact. The optics were clear. Crisis control took priority over transparency. Reigns vanished from television, missing the WWE draft, leaving behind a trail of questions about who the rules really protected. July 24, 2016. The Battleground pay-per-view was sold on the promise of the long-awaited Shield triple threat: Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns fighting for the WWE Championship. Reigns had just served a 30-day suspension for a wellness policy violation. 3 days after his ban ended, he walked straight back into the main event. No demotion, no rebuilding. His name was still on the marquee, exactly as advertised before his suspension. The crowd was ready. Signs reading, "You still suck," and "Wellness Violator returns" filled the camera shots. Every time Reigns' music hit, the boos were louder than ever. WWE kept him in the most protected spot in the company, ignoring the usual playbook of sidelining suspended talent. When Randy Orton failed a drug test, he spent months in the mid-card. When Mr. Kennedy violated the policy, he was gone entirely. But for Reigns, the company never blinked. In the match itself, Ambrose and Rollins sent a message. They teamed up, hoisted Reigns in the air, and drove him through the announce table with a double powerbomb. The crowd erupted. Reigns lost the match, but his place at the top was never in question. WWE had made their priorities clear. 30 days out, headline billing right back in. The wellness policy took a back seat to the business of protecting their chosen star, even when the fans wanted anything but. January 2018 brought a new kind of spotlight. Filmmaker John Bravo released a documentary about a Miami-based steroid ring run out of Iron Addicts Gym. The operation's owner, Richard Rodriguez, was already serving time in federal prison following a DEA raid the previous year. In a jailhouse interview, Rodriguez identified Roman Reigns as a client, described an interesting order process, and hinted there was more to the story than the public knew. The timeline was impossible to ignore. Rodriguez's network was active in 2016, the same year Reigns failed WWE's drug test. But the accusation stopped there. No charges were filed. There were no court documents, no evidence made public, and no action from WWE. Reigns issued a statement through ESPN saying he had never heard of Richard Rodriguez or Wellness Fitness Nutrition. He said he learned from the mistake he made nearly 2 years earlier and paid the penalty for it. Since then, he said, He had passed 11 tests as part of WWE's independent drug testing program. The company offered no comment, no investigation, and no change in direction. The allegation faded, leaving only big questions about how much a single star could get away with if the company decided he was too valuable to lose. WWE's wellness policy was introduced in February 2006 as a direct response to the steroid-linked death of Eddie Guerrero. The rules were clear. A first violation meant a 30-day suspension, a second violation doubled the penalty, and a third violation could end a career. For years, the company enforced these rules with visible consequences. Randy Orton, one of the company's top stars in 2006, was suspended, returned to the mid-card, stripped of his Intercontinental title, and kept away from main event storylines for months. Ken Anderson, known as Mr. Kennedy, lost his push and was released entirely after a violation in 2009, despite being on the verge of a major championship run. Rey Mysterio, a fan favorite and former world champion, served 2 separate suspensions. Each time he lost momentum, missed pay-per-views, and was written out of major storylines. The pattern was consistent. A failed test meant a step back, lost opportunities, and sometimes the end of a WWE career. But when Roman Reigns returned from his 2016 suspension, nothing about his treatment fit the established script. His immediate restoration to the main event was not just unusual, it was unprecedented, exposing a double standard that left no doubt about who the rules really served. August 30th, 2020. Roman Reigns returned to WE television with Paul Heyman at his side, a new edge in his voice, and a new claim: he was the tribal chief. That night, he captured the Universal Championship. What followed was a reign that rewrote the record books. For 1,316 days, nearly 3.5 years, Reigns held the title without interruption. He beat every challenger WWE could throw at him: John Cena, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre. He headlined 3 straight WrestleManias, a feat not seen since the days of Hulk Hogan. April 2022 brought another milestone. At WrestleMania 38, Reigns unified the Universal and WWE Championships, pinning Brock Lesnar to become the undisputed champion. The company branded him the biggest star of his generation, the centerpiece of every major event. By June 2023, Reigns passed Pedro Morales' 1,027-day record, entering the top 5 longest world title reigns in WWE's 70-year history. All the while, the company never mentioned his 2016 suspension or the Rodriguez allegations. The message was unmistakable. Nothing, not a failed test, not a public accusation, could threaten the run of a champion this valuable. WWE's public commitment to its wellness policy stood in stark contrast to the company's financial decisions during Roman Reigns' era at the top. Between 2020 and 2023, as Reigns held the Universal Championship for a record 1,316 days, WWE released over 100 wrestlers, citing budget cuts. These mass layoffs came while the company was raking in unprecedented revenue, $1.3 billion in 2023 alone. The same period saw WWE sign a $1 billion streaming deal with Peacock, guaranteeing a windfall regardless of live event attendance or pay-per-view buys. Each year, the company collected $50 million per event from its partnership with Saudi Arabia, further insulating the business from market swings and public criticism. The largest deal came in 2023 when WWE merged with UFC under the Endeavor banner, creating a $21 billion sports and entertainment giant. Against this financial backdrop, Roman Reigns' place at the top was never in doubt. Even as his schedule shifted to part-time in 2024, his value as a corporate asset outweighed any policy infraction or public controversy. The message from WWE's boardroom was unmistakable. The rules are flexible when the profits are this high, and no star is more protected than the one who drives the bottom line. Today, WWE's bottom line still outweighs its policies. As billion-dollar deals surge, rules bend for the most profitable stars, while others face the consequences. The precedent is set. In this industry, market value decides accountability. The real question is, who gets protected next and who gets left behind?